Thank you. Open carry is now law in the state of Texas.
All right, we're done.
You think the language in the Second Amendment is clear enough? You know, about the right to bear arms?
Of course it's clear. Every American has the right to hang a pair of bear arms on their wall. How could that possibly be misconstrued?
All right, fantastic then.
I briefly took the opportunity to ask him about his own attitude towards guns, and I asked him why he's such a defender of the right to bear arms.
Well, I give up my gun when everybody else does.
And is that
Doesn't that make sense?
Well,
doesn't that make sense? I mean, if you were to, if there were guns here, would you want to be the only person without one?
So do you carry guns routinely at home? I mean, you have a gun at home?
Yeah, it's legal in the United States. It's part of our Constitution. You know, the right to bear arms is because that's the last form of defense against tyranny. Not to hunt. It's to protect yourself from the police.
And do you see any link between that and these sorts of incidents?
No. Nah, not really. You know what I'm saying? If somebody wants to kill people, you know, they don't need a gun to do it.
Makes it easier, though, doesn't it?
Not really. You can use you can strap explosives on your body. They do that all the time.
So when there's the inevitable backlash of the anti-gun lobby as a result of this incident, as there always is.
Well, that's not going to change anything in the United States.
Anything.
No. The United States is based on guns, you know. Like KRS says, you'll never have justice on stolen land. So it's not going to change.
Okay. You're trying to disarm me illegally.
I am going to disarm you.
Illegally?
No, sir.
Am I threatening you?
Once I find out there's no issue, then we're
Am I doing something against the law?
Be on your way.
Am I doing something against the law?
Keep your hands away from the gun.
I don't have my hand near the gun.
Put your other hand away from the gun.
I'm holding my camera.
Get it away from the gun.
It's away from the gun.
Okay.
Now, you gonna let me go?
No, I'm not gonna let you
You're
go.
about to get yourself a civil lawsuit.
You just completely stripped an individual's right to keep and bear arms with the stroke of a pen without any type of due process at all.
Well, when you say it like that, it sounds like we're stripping you of your right to keep and bear arms without any due process.
Well, what are you doing then?
Stripping you of your rights without any due process?
I swear the next thing you're going to tell me is that I need to apply for a free speech license, and I'll be unsuitable for that as well.
Don't give him any more ideas.
Showing a gun is enough to prevent the crime. When robbers broke into Joyce and Raymond Pappin's home and attacked Raymond, he yelled,
"Get the gun, get the gun."
Joyce did, and when the robbers saw it, they ran away.
Boy, when he saw the gun, he just started running, and they weren't just walking fast, they were running. They had boots on. You could hear them boots a-clopping.
Joyce says having a gun changes the balance of power. And here's a controversial idea. Some Virginia Tech students say they wish students had been allowed to carry guns, because one of them might have stopped the killer before he shot so many people. And that's what happened 5 years ago at the Appalachian School of Law. Hearing shots, 2 students went to their cars, got their guns, and helped restrain this shooter until police arrested him.
One of the things that the gun does is it equalizes unequals. My mom told me when I was a young boy, because she was armed, she was never afraid.
So, gun control isn't necessarily crime control. In fact, the National Academy of Sciences reviewed hundreds of studies and could not document a single gun regulation that reduced violent crime or murder.
If someone gets into your house, which would you rather have, a handgun or a telephone? You can call the police if you want, and they'll get there, and they'll take a picture of your dead body. But they can't get there in time to save your life. The first line of defense is you.
Something's gone wrong. For all our vigilance and battle scars over the Bill of Rights, have we let the flame of freedom's torch grow cold? Because there can be no torch to pass where there's no flame. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The Second Amendment. Textbooks ignore it, schools teach against it, clergy preach against it, politicians legislate against it, media ridicule it, movies pervert it, courts avoid it, and too many gun owners permit it.
Doesn't matter why they include it. The question is, do we want it, do we need it now, and is it relevant today?
Sir, freedom of religion doesn't matter.
While you're standing up, I sat here and I'm here right now, and I would like to agree with the professor. everyone standing in this room right now, especially the veterans in this room right now, know we are all Americans. The problem with this country right now is it's us. We need to stop this crap. Now, the thing I would like you to answer, sir, and I did go to war for this country. Whether it was for everyone in here's ability to have oil and gas in their cars, or the banks, or whatever, I went to war for my country.
Thank you.
And I went to war for your ability to have the First Amendment to say what you stood up there and said today, write what you want to write in your newspaper, and have whatever opinion you want to have. You can practice whatever religious freedoms you want. I would like you to answer the question. Since you just said that one of the rights that I went to war over to defend that is inalienable to every American citizen, if this discussion was going on about your First Amendment rights, would you still have the same opinion that we don't need that anymore either?
You hear my answer.
I did hear your answer. We all did. You said the Second Amendment no longer matters, and we might not need it right
That's
now.
not what I said.
Your question.
The question was, what were the reasons for the Second Amendment at the time it was adopted? And I said, it doesn't matter what their reasons are. What matters is whether or not it's relevant today. And that's the answer. Eternal truth. And eternal truth is relevant in all time. When they consider any part of the Constitution, any law, they're going to say, what does it mean today?
The threat of tyranny today is no less than the turn of the century in the 1900s, or 1800, or 1700.
Let's talk about the Second Amendment. As you know, Donald Trump has also been out on the stump talking about the Second Amendment, saying you want to abolish the Second Amendment. I know you reject that, but I want to ask you a specific question. Do you believe that an individual's right to bear arms is a constitutional right, that it's not linked to service in a militia?
I think that for most of our history, there was a nuanced reading of the Second Amendment until the decision by the late Justice Scalia. And there was no argument until then that localities and states and the federal government had a right, as we do with every amendment, to impose reasonable regulations. So I believe we can have common sense gun safety measures consistent with the Second Amendment. And in fact, what I have proposed is supported by 90% of the American people and more than 75% of responsible gun owners. So that is exactly what I think is constitutionally permissible. And once again, you have Donald Trump just making outright fabrications, accusing me of that is absolutely untrue. But I'm going to continue to speak out for comprehensive background checks, closing the gun show loophole, closing the online loophole, closing the so-called Charleston loophole, reversing the bill that Senator Sanders voted for and I voted against, giving immunity from liability to gun makers and sellers. I think all of that can and should be done, and it is, in my view, consistent with the Constitution.
And she wants to prevent terrorists from obtaining this rifle and is urging New York State lawmakers to pass the Anti-Terrorism and Aviation Protection Act, an act that the National Rifle Association will likely fight, claiming the right to bear arms.
Come on. This is crazy. You can't certainly use this for hunting. But some of these bullets, as you saw, have an incendiary device on the tip of it, which is a heat-seeking device.
You know, as an American citizen, regardless of if I'm conservative, liberal, Democrat, Republican, Green Party, you know, whatever, as an American citizen, period, it's my right, my Second Amendment right, to keep and bear arms, and that right shall not be infringed.